I going to talk about today? I'm not going to dance. I'm not going to sing songs. I stole David Letterman's approach. I also did it at the first year convocation, although I have some different tips for you. But I like things sequential and bottled up, and so I'm going to give you 10 tips. And I'm going to do it starting with one, not descending like David Letterman, just so I can be a little different. So these are things that I have just learned over life. I really feel as though, you know what, I'm a little young to be giving a last lecture, but I guess I'm old enough to say I've learned something. So, tip number one. Sometimes opportunity only knocks once. Try new things. And I'm going to use myself, obviously, as an example. My sister lived in France for 3 years, and I never went and visited her. There was always an excuse. I'm too busy. I'm this. You know what? That was dumb. It was just dumb. I will get to France someday, but that would have been a different experience. I could have shared it with a relative. And so I guess what I'm saying is really ask yourselves, will it come again? Can I make something work? And there's been other things I'm sure you can all think of. So sometimes it really does only knock once. Celebrate others' success. If you don't go to their party, they won't come to yours. And, you know, we go to, bridal showers, weddings, birthday parties, retirement parties, promotional parties, whatever the occasion. And a lot of times it goes right across our brain, I don't really want to go to this. I'm too busy. But boy, when it's your party, you want everyone there. And you appreciate it. And I will tell you, the person whose party it is does appreciate you being there. Now, at the same time, I don't want to be a buzzkill, but I think the other side of this is to share in people's sorrow, too. Everybody goes through it, and to share in that and to offer some empathy, it will come back to you tenfold because they will remember when you are struggling as well. So certainly celebrate other people's success. Have fun. I mean, we've had Charlie, we've Professor Collis, Dr. Cormier talked about that. I mean, everyone has talked about it. It's true. But I like this, work hard, then play hard. Whether you're working hard in your career or maybe it's in the sports. Maybe you want to complete a marathon. Well, people who run a marathon train hard, then they have the shot of tequila at the finish line, but not in between. So this is, my math colleagues would say this is the correct order of that equation. So if we work hard, then we can play hard. This is, and I'm going to be talking more about this too, but develop and practice the art of correspondence. Hallmark loves me. I should own stock in them. And I love it now that Walmart sells cards too for $1. But people love it. And I am amazed when you send a card, like I send Halloween cards. And my friends call and they say, my kids they love it. You know, I'll throw $1 in it if it's for my friends' children. But all ages, it comes back to you tenfold. People remember it. Snail mail is not dead. And it is powerful. I've stolen that from someone, and I try to practice it. I worked for a man. I was in a sales organization of over 300 people. He never missed a birthday. He would send sympathy cards. That was his full time. That was his thing. And it was powerful, and it really added to his effectiveness. Ask for help. This, even at this age, I'm hesitant sometimes. I don't want to show my ignorance, or I don't want to let on to people that I don't know. I've tried to put that behind me, especially in financial matters. That is not my strong suit. It's too important. Ask for help, and I guess I would say to all of you, that's what we're here for to do, to ask for help. Select a variety of mentors and role models and always be on the lookout for new ones. You hear this all the time, oh, you need mentors, you need role models, and I think we've all talked about it. Charlie had her first grade teacher. I absolutely do as well from all aspects of my life, but I'm going to tell you that I have mentors right here at Nichols College. I've been here 4 years, but there are people that I've met and I say, wow, I like how they do that. And I try to emulate it, or I try to build it into my style, or I try to learn from it. And so I think it's important, it's a lifelong pursuit to choose role models and mentors, and then how can I improve my own self? I will share a funny story with you. Professor Downs, I'm not going to bash you because I know you're keeping tabs for tomorrow night. So this is a complimentary one, but Professor Downs interviewed me when I first came to Nichols, and I was a little bit intimidated because I knew what his background was, and I remember he said to me, he said, well, what do you think you're good at? Hate that question. And I said, I think I'm good in the classroom. And he said, what makes you think that? I am. And I was like, whoa. And so I looked back at him, and I don't even know if you remember this, and I said, I know I'm good in the classroom. I said I'm a little bit of an actress. And I remember he winked at me and he goes, you're going to be okay, kid. And I got to tell you, I can't compare to him in a classroom or many of my colleagues, but this is, you will meet people all through your life who can certainly help you. Everyone said this, but I mean, hello, we got to learn to do this. If you make a mistake, admit it and move on. It's in the past. And don't over-apologize for it. I guess that's the one thing I would add, like to keep saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. If you effectively apologize, move on. People are usually very forgiving. So we've got to leave our mistakes in the past and certainly learn from them. Don't be a follower. You don't always have to be a leader, but you should always be an independent thinker. It's, I think, real confusing. I have children of my own, and I catch myself sometimes saying to them, oh, you should be the leader. And I think that's great, but not all of us are cut out to be leaders. But I do think we can all be independent thinkers. We can stand up for our values. We can stand up for our opinion, and we can do what is best for us. The crowd seldom chooses the correct path. So again, to be an independent thinker. Now, I mean, Charlie did this a little, but buy souvenirs. I love souvenirs. And I am a firm believer that your environment needs to reflect yourself. If you came to my home, you would see some crazy stuff, but I think it would probably reflect my personality. Of places I've been, in my office, I have seashells on my desk from just trips I have taken, or I buy a piece of jewelry because it's a fond memory for me, and I can say, oh, this is when I was here, or I was with this person. So even if it's not a far, far away, but if it's a wonderful memory, if I have any of my fellow travelers from Italy and Greece, I drove them almost nuts because in Italy I bought a lot of heavy pottery because I was like, I really want this pottery, so when I get home, I'll know I have this dish from Italy. So I had some of the people traveling with me saying, you are really nuts. Guess what? Every time I take that thing out and serve salad, I'm like, I got this in Italy. And I love it. So buy souvenirs. Now, it doesn't have to be expensive, but it'll make you feel good inside. Now, this kind of contradicts. I said buy souvenirs, physical things, and now I'm going to tell you in my next point, I think your most valuable asset is your reputation. It is more valuable than a car. It is more valuable than a house. Probably not more valuable than your relationships and your family, but it is your most valuable asset because it will help you through life. It will help you through networking, and it is that important to protect. It's been my most valuable asset when I was younger, and it continues to be today. Now, with that said, I'm really not David Letterman because I have 11 tips. And anyone who knows me knows I can never just stop. And so how do you do that? I said number 10 is so important that you really, how do I do that? How do I protect my reputation? And I've said here, choose your friends with care and discretion. When I prepared for today, and I think all of us had to do this, a lot of self-reflection, and I thought of important people all through my life, obviously starting with my family, but I have friends from every walk of life that I stay in touch with. And so I say, you know what? My reputation has stayed intact because